Welcome to Bill Buchanan Day.
Bill Buchanan.
Bill Buchanan.
Mr. Bill Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan.
Bill Buchanan, also known as Billy Bob Buchanan.
So when you start with the, I didn't even know we were going to have this thing. I come to Rotary over here in Dayton on a regular basis, and that's what I was on the way to. I came, got in the doorway, and they said it's going to have a good program. They wanted to be sure I saw it, and not little knowing it was not one single solitary person spilled the beans, and I really was amazed, one, and delighted two. So it was something special. Gosh, there's a lot of people here. There's two people here, I guess, that really, I had to do really tough news stories on them, and they were really mad at me. But that was a long time ago, and they were here, and one of them, I'm not going to go any further than that. Didn't make a difference why or who, but anyway, all I could say is they were absolutely wonderful. Came up and congratulated me and said, "Were you surprised?" I said, "My gosh, yes. We gotcha." And it was just wonderful. There's everything about it was wonderful. I didn't get my meal.
We got you one to go. We got you one to take home with you.
It's a can of killer ration and
My whole life, my wife's whole life, my family's whole life. It's really, really easy. My whole life. My wife was killed in an accident here that 5 or 6 years ago, and that's the only thing was wrong with this. She wasn't here, and we were married. 59.
57, 59?
50.
Yeah.
And
Long time.
And she was.
My pocket person.
I can't remember, but anyway, she was way deep into the 50s. We have how long we were married, and everything that's happened to me since that time. Is that God? I wish Janet was here, and I can certainly say that now.
All of the, millions of commercials. The one that still sticks in my mind, and it was one that when I was a kid, it was when Panther Stop Exxon. You knew that was coming.
What you were going for.
And I thought I was thinking the other day, I got a text from Tiffany, and I was just thinking about it, and that is the power of radio.
They're open.
All the time. 366 days a year, 8 days a week.
I put on their commercial, blah, 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 blah. They're open all the time. And it still comes, people will still come up and say, "Do you remember that slogan you did for the gas station down on Main Highway 90?
But that's the power that you had with the commercials that that commercial's probably what? Would have been early 90s.
Before I got here, and I got here in 94.
Yeah, because it opened in the early 90s. It was, I think, the first convenience store of like what we know today. And that commercial probably has not run in 25 years.
Yeah.
If not longer.
People still bring it up.
And that still sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
Every time I drive by that.
Tell him about your hurricanes. It's strapping the tower down with the back of my SUV.
I just said that. Wasn't that Ike?
No, it was.
Was it Rita?
Rita.
Okay.
It was Rita.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I was wrong on the Ike.
Those towers are huge, and even the ones that are at the station are fairly tall, and they have guy wires down. And one of the guy wires is connected to a metal pole. The metal pole, during the rain and the wind, had got loose, and that made our tower do this. Okay. And so Bill and I are out there in a hurricane because, what else are we going to do?
The big tower that the radio station's on is someplace else, okay? But we have another tower
At the building itself.
At the building itself, and that's what they were talking about. And that was.
Bill and I head outside into the hurricane because why not?
She was the hero on that.
And we start trying to figure out how to anchor this thing. It's a 200-foot tall tower. Was it 200 foot or 100 foot?
100.
100-foot
For
tower.
the story, it was 300.
Okay, well, I think it's gonna go to 500 next time I tell the story. Anyway, so we end up pulling, now the wind at that time just blew me to the ground, but we end up pulling my SUV
Literally.
out into the street. And we've got a tow strap hooked to the back of my SUV, hooked to the wire that connects to the tower. And Bill's standing there watching, saying, go, go. And so I'm inching forward because you don't want to hit it. You'll snap that wire and the tower's gone. You just want to snug it. So I'm inching forward and he's yelling at me through the window and I can't hear him because of the wind. And the window's down and I can't hear him. So we ended up with the car in the middle of the street, with the tow strap connected to the tower. And it stayed in the middle of the street for 4 days.
Dad and I were at the office. We had stayed at the office that night, just
Really?
right on the corner of Main. And he and I were walking over to the house, and we got around the corner on Fannin and went, what?
Yep. Yeah, my car sat there for 4 days, holding the tower up. It kept us on the air.
I just can remember the back end off about this.
Kind of a sub tower, but it was 100 feet tall.
And it was vital. If it had gone down, the radio station would not have been able to get the.
It connected us to the radio. He's exactly right. It connected us to the radio station itself, the tower transmitter, which is out in Denver.
Yeah, that was who you. I was at my office. We had the radio station on.
The internet then too, both over the air and through the internet, and we were getting calls from all over the country. People who had family back here, or they evacuated, or whatever the case was. We'd get calls that they were listening on the internet and wanted to know how this was and how that was. Yeah, it was a pretty big deal.
And if there was a breaking news story of well, anything. It didn't matter what it was, but especially
He became one of our news
on one of
guys.
these bigger events.
He was hanging around there when he was in the 3rd grade, and later on he was working for the radio station.
We know I was. They're viruses they could get rid of faster than me.
Sorry,
No. It didn't matter what kind of coverage came in from Houston, Beaumont, or around the country. You turned to Bill because Bill knew, one, the community, and two, he knew the people that had the information and that could give him the right information and the accurate information, not the sensational information. And that was a vital thing about the community and what people, even outside of Liberty, knew about the radio station.
We really got some great people here, and we made doggone sure we had good connections with them. And I'm talking, when I say here, I mean Dayton, I mean Liberty, and the Liberty County area.
They earned our trust and we earned theirs.
I tell you what, looking at it from a law enforcement perspective, I've seen this man arrive on the scene before law enforcement, and reporting became secondary with him. Life-saving measures were first. I stood there and watched him try to bring a man back to life that was electrocuted.
Oh, that was here in Dayton.
Many times he would be the first one on the scene. And all these things they said about Bill is absolutely, the man is a man among men. But I do want to give you one little story, and Tiffany can attest to this.
Oh, no, because I was probably involved in causing the problem.
Well, when I was emergency management coordinator, we had a flood here in Liberty County.
I know I was.
It wasn't one of the recent floods, but it's been a while back. But Bill wanted to go out and look at all the flooded areas. Tiffany was in the back seat, I was in the front seat with Bill. So as emergency management coordinator, we went out and started checking these.
You don't really have to tell this.
Hey, I'm gonna tell it my way. You can change it later if you want to.
Which may or may not be true.
May or may not be true. True fact. We came to this subdivision where the road went down like that and came back up. Well, that was a low water bridge, and it was water, solid water, as far as these walls are apart. Bill says, I think we can drive through that. Tiffany and I, don't think so, Bill. Don't think so.
That's what he said.
Bill says, oh no, we can get through that. I said, Bill, you ain't Noah, and that ain't the Red Sea. It ain't gonna part for you. Oh yeah, we can get through it. 2 minutes later, we were stranded in the middle of the river with water flowing into the floorboards. Bill and I crawled out, raised the hood. There was seaweed on the engine. Fortunately, there was an 18-wheel truck driver there that pulled us out of it, took it to the shop. The car was totaled out, but
Anything else you want to say?
He gave you his rubber boots, come on.
yeah, and water was pouring in the boots when it was so deep, so I didn't do a bit of good. So, as great as he is, he ain't Noah, I'll tell you for sure. That's one thing he's not. But he was trying, bless his heart. He was giving on-the-spot announcement and reporting for the community, which he always did. You got to give him credit for that.
Okay, I got one.
Yes.
I got one. I got a better one. I bet you do. Bill Buchanan, I was at the radio station 3 o'clock in the morning. I was running the board. Bill's out doing reports on flooded roadways. And he does a report on reminding people not to drive through flooded roadways because you can't see where the road ends and the ditch
I know
begins.
where you're going with this one, too.
And the report ends, and I'm back to music, and the phone rings, and I answer the phone, and I said, what? And he said, you're never going to believe this. What'd you do? Well, I just tried to pull out of this parking lot, okay? I forgot there was a 10-foot ditch in front of me. He had driven right down into it and
That's what
drowned
I've been
another
warning
car.
people about. The very reason I did the report was because of that.
That's the reason we call him Aquaman.
When I was running the savings alone, we had an airplane, a little small pressurized twin. And Bill had said, next time you go to Kerrville, if you've got an empty seat, call me. I said, I'd like to go with you. And I said, okay. And so it was about a month or so. I was going, and nobody else was going, and so I had plenty of room for Bill.
I was the last choice.
So we're in the air flying, and
This
he
is
was
not
telling me a
fair.
story.
This is not fair.
He was telling me a story about one other time that he'd flown in a small plane, and he said we got up in the air, and he said all of a sudden I just started feeling green, and he said I told my friend who was flying the plane that I was going to be sick, and he said, well, can you hold it? We're on our approach for the little airport, and Bill said. He couldn't even open his mouth. He was shaking his head. So he gets the side window open on the airplane as they're getting lowered and approaching, and sticks his head out and throws up. And then they land, and he gets out and goes into the little fixed base operation there that they had. And he felt better, and then he walked back out. And his friend had a bucket and a mop and was mopping off the side of the airplane. And Bill said, he was apologizing, he felt so bad about it. And the guy said, wait, you got to see this. And so they walked to where the runway started, and there was a fence, and on the other side of the fence was 2 or 3 cows. And one of the cows had vomit all across the So he's telling me this, and we get into Kerrville, and I told the pilot to get low and just kind of circle around, showed him various parts in the town, and all of a sudden I look at him, and he's looking green. And I said, are you okay? And I looked around for a throw-up bag, and there was none. And I looked down, I had one of those accordion files, and I dumped all the stuff out of that, and he made use of that. And so we landed and did our stuff in Kerrville and came back and had no problem on the way back. But as soon as I got back, I got one of the girls to take a fresh accordion file and put Bill's barf bag written on it and have them delivered at the radio station.
You're supposed to be nice to me. This is my day.
Oh, that is nice. We haven't told the bad stuff yet.
He could have had take a Friday night and had football and gotten back on a road game from doing a road game at midnight. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, there was a fire somewhere. He was there. I don't know how he did it.
That's why he looks this
You know,
way.
And then he would be right back
You know,
At
you
8
did
o'clock
some
the
of,
next morning at the radio station.
you did some of that yourself.
Well, not to your level. I mean, it was just, it always, I mean, the fact
You
that
have
he
a
could.
bad case of hero worship, you know that?
No, I'm just saying. You know, it just can't be emphasized enough what he meant and what that radio station did for the community. And to great, it didn't matter what time of day it was or what was going on, a hurricane, a flood. He wanted people to know what was going on, and not just to know, but to help them, prevent them from getting into bad situations. And that's something that just can't be said enough.